Probably one of the most popular and well-liked characters on television is C, the actor, who spent 19 seasons playing Jethro Leroy Gibbs on NCIS, left the program last year. Harmon has made it clear that he wants to return, but only time will tell. For many years, Harmon has been wed to his cherished wife, Pam Dauber. Moreover, 30 years ago, the two were married, started a family, and lived together. However, in addition to the love of his life, other women have had a big impact on him. He has a really particular bond with Jamie Lee Curtis, that woman. Sometimes it's amazing to see how well-known actors are when they attend events like the Academy Awards red carpet. It can be difficult to understand how on earth two actors from different shows from the mid-1990s could be best friends, especially when one of them suddenly appears to be the actress from the movie you loved last year. Curtis, Mark, and Jamie Lee. The entertainment industry is as vast as the universe, which could be the straightforward explanation. You get the idea, albeit perhaps you should err on the side of caution when accepting that assertion. Like in many other professions, acting didn't always lead to stardom. Many actors had to work hard to get to the top. That meant working on low-budget movies, TV shows, ads, or other projects before making a breakthrough. Furthermore, two of them you wouldn't imagine together have unavoidably crossed paths at some point because many of them have been performing for decades. Certain friendships appear more unexpected than others. The one starring Jamie Lee Curtis and Mark Harmon is the one that does. They've been pals for a very long time. Despite being close friends, the two have never dated. And there's a compelling reason why in the instance of Mark Harmon and Jamie Lee Curtis. Mark Harmon's career started out with appearances on The Love Boat and parts in a number of television shows, including 240 Robert and Flamingo Road. He did, however, receive his big break as a series regular on the drama Street Elsewhere in 1983. From there, he went on to star in a number of movies in the later part of the 1980s. At the same time, his wife Pam Dauber began modeling while attending Oakland Community College. She went on to appear in magazine and television ads. Pam Dauber, the wife of Mark Harmon. After a few brief roles, Dauber's big break came in 1978 when she co-starred with the late Robin Williams in the television series Mork and Mindy. In 1979, she took home the People's Choice Award for Best Female Performer in a new TV series. Dauber rose to fame for her work in film, but after she started dating Mark Harmon, her enthusiasm in the industry started to wane. When they first met at a party hosted by a mutual acquaintance, they were both well-known actresses, and they started dating shortly after. The pair wed in a small-scale ceremony in 1987 at the Harvard Westlake School Chapel in Studio City, California. There weren't many friends and family members present. Sean Harmon, the couple's firstborn son, was born in 1988. The first kid of the couple would follow in his parents' footsteps and become an actor. Sean's most well-known role was playing Leroy Jethro Gibbs, the younger version of his father's character on NCIS and CSI, NY. Ty Christian Harmon is another son that Mark and Pam have nurtured. Born in 1992, Ty followed in his family's footsteps and became a member of the entertainment industry. Ty Christian, however, works behind the camera in contrast to other family members. Despite being a screenwriter, he maintains a quiet profile. The Catholic school drill Chainsaw Showdown, which his brother Sean directed, is arguably the project for which he is best known. For his family, Mark Harmon made the decision to give up acting. But regardless of the boys' actions, it is evident that their father, Mark, loves and supports them. Pam gave up stardom when their children were born because she wanted to devote her time to her family. In 1998, she did her final acting role as Purdy in the animated series 101 Dalmatians. The series. Mark Harmon received more roles as a result of producers realizing how good his acting was. However, after working in the industry for almost 20 years, it all got to be a bit much at one time. At that moment, Harmon took a decision that would forever alter his path in life. He remarked, "I was missing a lot of family time because I was directing a lot, doing the occasional movie, and we had this young family that was growing up." He went on to say that this was not okay. Despite his fame, Mark ultimately missed out on experiences that he was unable to have later in life. "My firstborn child took his first steps while I was in the New Guinean woods filming a bad movie. No work is worth missing the significant events in life, he declared. Ultimately, Pam and Mark Harmon felt compelled, at least somewhat, to maintain the privacy of their relationship. Dauber told People, "We're not trying to keep something secret, but you have to if you don't want the press to totally exploit it. Assign the appropriate person. It isn't even a decision." Years later, Mark remarked, "It's who we are. We are home a lot. I'm not big on Facebook or Twitter. That doesn't appeal to our sons either." Even though Pam and I have both succeeded in our industry, there is still a portion of it that is simply not right. Pam Dauber and Mark Harmon have been wed for more than 30 years, and the two are still incredibly in love today. Harmon says there's no magic bullet or secret to why their marriage is working out so nicely. Nonetheless, he thinks it was important that they were married so early. "We were both in our 30s when we tied the knot, so perhaps our earlier foolishness has been forgotten," Mark Harmon told People. "That's probably the closest I have to what the key is." In a 2014 interview, he told Larry King that he didn't have a particular marriage philosophy. He did express optimism that people will be able to choose the right person, though. In other words, Mark Harmon and Pam Dauber have been married for more than 30 years. When it comes to continuing to be truly in love with her lover, Jamie Lee Curtis has actually gone through exactly the same thing. She wed Christopher Guest in 1984, and the two of them are still together today. Christopher Guest, the husband of Jamie Lee Curtis. In addition, Christopher performs as an actor, most recognized for his part in the 1984 movie Spinal Tap. Jamie Lee Curtis knew she was going to marry him before they even started dating, even though they dated for a time. In an article for Oprah.com, Curtis stated, "Producer and co-writer of Halloween, Debbie Hill, and I were flipping through a Rolling Stone magazine when I turned to a photograph of three men. I turned to face the man with the waggish smirk and plaid shirt on the right. I pointed to him even though I had never seen him before. I told my friend that I was going to marry that man." Through their operatives, they swapped phone numbers with that guy, who was named Christopher. But he never gave her a call, and Jamie moved on to someone else. She went to a restaurant for supper after dropping her then-date off at the airport for a friendly but final goodbye. They went on their first date in July 1984, and by December, they were married. In the 1980s and 90s, Jamie Lee Curtis and Christopher adopted Annie, born in 1986, and Ruby, 1996. Ruby came out as transgender. She was once known as Thomas. Ruby said to People in 2021, "It was scary. Just the sheer fact of telling them something about me they didn't know. Although it was frightening, I wasn't concerned. Throughout my entire life, they could show me such acceptance." Mark Harmon and Jamie Lee Curtis' unique relationship. What then is their key to having remained married for so long? Curtis says that it's really easy. "Avoid getting divorced," she stated to Today. "It's an intriguing phenomenon. I could write a book titled Don't League about marriage." For many years, Mark Harmon and Jamie Lee Curtis have enjoyed happy marriages to their spouses. Together is just one of the many remarkable relationships that the two have developed. The first time Harmon and Curtis appeared on screen together was in the popular 2003 movie Freaky Friday, where Harmon played Jamie Lee Curtis's fiancé. It marked the start of a wonderful friendship that went beyond the screen. When Annette Bening was attached, Tom Selleck was attached to play that role, which made Mark Harmon intriguing. He told me everything straight. "Look, I was excited about the project, but I was really excited about the opportunity to work with Annette. He told me over the phone when Annette decided not to proceed. Thus, I'm going to withdraw." And my response was, "Oh, I see. No bad feelings," we said before heading out to see Mark Harmon. According to Freaky Friday director Mark Waters, as an older man, he was still considered to be like a heartthrob because women adored him. At the time, the picture helped shake Curtis and Harmon's acting careers and was a big hit. Critics appreciated Curtis' performance, and the film grossed $160.8 million worldwide. Mark Harmon once made the decision to step back in order to spend more time with his family, but a tranquil life at home would quickly become something more. NCIS. The NCIS script, which centers on the Naval Criminal Investigative Service, was given to him. Larry Jethro Gibbs's persona and the frequently hilarious writing pleased Harmon. The first episode of NCIS aired in September 2003. The series, which aired its first episode to millions of viewers, was almost instantly successful, drawing inspiration from the already popular naval legal drama JG. Millions of people tuned into NCIS every week after that, making it one of the most watched series in the world. The Hollywood Reporter claims that it currently has licenses in more than 200 countries and is home to multiple CBS spin-offs, including NCIS, New Orleans, NCIS, Los Angeles, and NCIS, Hawaii. Over its run, the program has received multiple award wins and 3 Primetime Emmy nominations. In addition to being nominated for other categories, Harmon himself won the 2017 People's Choice Award for Favorite TV Crime Drama Actor. Mark Harmon struggled to comprehend how NCIS became one of the most viewed television programs, despite the fact that it was. No, I don't. It is not possible. The global outreach is astounding, Harmon remarked to TV Insider in 2017. Even in the most remote locations, it's difficult to stroll through an airport without running into fans of the program, but that shouldn't be a problem. I've appeared on TV shows where I apologize as I pass through airports. Jamie Lee Curtis, according to Mark Harmon, is terrific. Though it was a relatively tiny role, Jamie Lee Curtis was unavoidably involved in Mark Harmon's rise to fame on NCIS. The adored actress made an appearance as Dr. Samantha Ryan as a guest star in Season 9 of the program. Others shared Harmon's enthusiasm about working with his wonderful friend once more. Harmon once described Curtis's presence on NCIS as terrific. Jamie and I go back a long way. It's a pleasure to have her on site. She is adored by the other members of the group, and Gary Glassberg has given her a role that, in an uncommon circumstance, motivated her to come to the performance. However, she's had a terrific time there, and I believe she would agree with you as well. Having her on the set is a blessing, Mark Harmon continued. In addition to having a really unique talent, she is a wonderful person and an exceptional performer. We have therefore appreciated having her. Jamie Lee Curtis was not selected by Mark Harmon to appear as a guest on NCIS. He was therefore quite happy to learn the truth when he did. The NCIS assignment was no exception to the two's positive memories of their time spent working together. Jamie is fantastic, and I believe we're all happy that she's joining us to play in our small sandbox for a time. In 2012, he said to Today, "I look forward to it absolutely." In a further interview that same year, Harmon remarked, "She's a gift to have on the set. It's uncommon, but Gary Glassberg gave her a role that motivated her to come and play in the first place. However, she's had a terrific time there, and I believe she would agree with you." He gives me a slight blush. Jamie Lee Curtis obviously enjoyed working alongside her best friend. I won't lie to you and tell you that playing play with him is a terrible, challenging job. She said to Entertainment Tonight, "I'm glad to have it." She said, "He makes me blush a little bit, because he's a really kind guy." Regarding their friendship, Mark Harmon told TV Equals, "I'm very fond of him and he's fond of me. I have a long history with Jamie. In addition to having such a unique talent, she is a wonderful person and an amazing artist." Mark Harmon made the decision to exit NCIS in 2022 after 19 seasons of the show. The news stunned his fans and many of his friends as well. After learning about Mark's decision to depart NCIS, Jamie Lee Curtis took to Instagram to thank him for his efforts.